in the morning. They just loaded my husband up into an ambulance. I am not well enough to drive him the hour and a half to the nearest hospital. On top of that, we had horrible storms and high winds, which closed multiple state roads. I don't know which state roads are open. I know that there's at least one state road still closed and being cleaned. I don't know about the other state road. So we made the determination after 4.5 hours of battling this kidney stone that he's had, just call the ambulance because I can barely see at night. I'm not really well enough to drive and use my pelvis to drive. Call the ambulance. Do you know how long it took the ambulance to get to my mother freaking house? I live 4 miles from town. I live 3.5 miles from the ambulance building in town. It took him an hour and 18 minutes. We have no hospital. We do have insurance that can fly us out for free if we need to be choppered out. Of course, that is one of those rare occurrences that normally cost somebody $100,000. So we pay for a contract every year in case we have to be choppered out because that's not covered by your insurance. Not a whole lot, a hell of a lot is covered by our insurance. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Remember last year when I had to request to get off of David's insurance because it didn't pay diddly squat? And so now I pay about $700 in premiums a month to manage my own health care. Oh, but because I get my money and then I have to use my money to pay for all of my medical coverage, but it's still my money. I could do anything I want to with it. So because I choose to pay for medical coverage, it's still my income. And so because I have out-of-pocket medical stuff, it still doesn't, it doesn't give me any leeway. You still have that money. You could choose to do other things. Although I have a terminal diagnosis, and it takes thousands a month to keep me alive. I could have chosen to do anything with that few $100s I have. So they can't give me any kind of allotment because all of my money goes to take care of my medical premiums and deductibles and copays. David works his butt off 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And he has one ureter that is very much smaller than the other one. And he used to have a lot of problems with kidney stones. We thought we got past that. Now the last 2 years we're having issues with that again. And what we found out last year when he had a kidney stone was that someone stole $6,500 out of his HRA account. They had inappropriately billed, turned it into a state investigator. He said, I'm not going to be able to get your money back. Maybe we can find somebody if we figured out who did it. Come to find out, the insurance provider and the HRA people had made a pact to where they put a clause in to where if people didn't open their accounts, because we didn't want to open our account unless it was necessary. We wanted to let the money sit unless we had a huge issue, because we assumed I was going to have that surgery on my mastoid. They had a clause in there that after so long, they could open it up. And although they weren't supposed to bill, they could open it up. They were not supposed to bill. They did. And so they billed $6,500. God knows where it went. They stole every penny we had in the HRA account. State investigators like, big whoop, if we can't get it back, we might be able to punish and fine the people that did that. But, they're gazillionaires, so they really care about people like us. I'm sorry, but there is no unfuck it bucket for what my life has been the last year. So I call the ambulance and I'm like, listen, I have a disorder like MS. I cannot drive him at night. I can barely see. I'm not sure my pelvis is working well enough for me to even think about driving. We really need an ambulance. He's been fighting this for about 4 hours because he doesn't want to have another huge bill. But he's turning color, so I'm afraid he's going to stroke out and his blood pressure's getting rather high. Oh, we'll get someone right there. We live 4 miles from the courthouse, 3.5 from the ambulance building. Took them an hour and 13 minutes to get here. Dave's in the back of an ambulance headed to Crossville, Tennessee. So I'm stuck here until daylight, or until they tell us what's wrong with him. He's like, just stay put. Let me get there. Let him examine me. Let's see if I have one stuck in the tube again, if they're what they're going to have to do to get it out. And then we'll make a decision when daylight comes. At least I'll feel safer driving in daylight. If not, Kim is around. Surely she'll help. But I will say something. He's going to a different hospital this time, and if their bill is substantially lesser than the bill that we got from Livingston Regional last year, where he got 1 CT, 1 dose of Toradol, and 1 IV and 1 bag of fluid, and they charged us over $13,500, and then after insurance pay, they still stuck us with $6,500. I think we have it paid down to somewhere around $4,500 right now, and they're threatening to put me in collections, and I'm like, do it. Do it, because I want to stand before a judge and have you rightfully tell him how you billed this much money for these small actions that you took. You didn't even give him any good medicine. You gave him Toradol, you giant jackass. I'm not in a good mood right now, y'all. It just is not a good day to piss me off. So if there's a huge discrepancy in what they bill at this other place for a kidney stone and what they bill down there, you bet your sweet bippy this woman will be finding an attorney. Because this is what I'm saying when they take advantage of people in Appalachia. We had to wait over an hour for an ambulance. That ambulance ride is going to cost us $800 to $1,000. Already know that. That's an average. Then we're going to have whatever the insurance refuses to pay, and his insurance pays so little, even though it costs so much, and it's the only insurance available at his factory, and it's an auto fabrication plant factory which has the money to take care of their employees, but they're giant scums. Well, that's actually nice to scum-sucking pieces of shit. They're below that. Like they're lower than a snake's belly and a wagon rat after the flood. I'm so sick of this. So it's highly likely we're going to have around $15,000 again in medical bills to start paying down. To where they want to call and threaten me, and I'm like, this is illegal, right? You can't call and threaten me. You can't do that to people with medical bills. You can take me to court, but as long as I'm paying, and I'm paying the estimated fair fee, you're just wasting time making your attorney go to stand up there and tell the judge, well, no, she's paying every month, and the judge is going to say, well, what do you want me to do about it? I know how this goes, but I hate the intimidation factor. I hate the stupidity. I hate the laziness of ambulance squads. I hate the sorriness and the covert, narcissistic assholery of insurance companies. I hate the way they treat people in Appalachia who, we just had a huge windstorm come through. We don't know what roads are open. All we know are power lines are down. There's still half of our county that are out of electric. Ours got lucky and finally came back on. We know that we have 2 state highways blocked. I didn't know which way to take them. So we thought, with me being as sick as I am and my legs not working really well because of the issue I'm having with my pelvis, just suck it up. Pay $1,000 for an ambulance. Because I was afraid I would wreck. Because I don't know. I know that there's massive damage on 127. I know that 52 was closed earlier. Yep. But they're going to milk us for all they're worth. I should bill them for every minute that it took them to get here. Because we're supposed to have 3 to 5 functioning ambulances because we have no hospital or no triage center. So we're supposed to have 3 to 5 functioning ambulances at all times. They said, we had one en route, but it had to go to a 1046 with an entrapment. Okay, I understand that. Somebody wrecked and got trapped in their vehicle. Where's the other ambulances? that my taxes pay for. It took an hour to get to my house, an hour and 13 minutes to get to my house. Y'all wonder why I stay at home. I'd rather die at home than have to wait on sorry ass, stupid pieces of shit leave me somewhere when I have a minuscule amount of hope that somebody's supposed to do something right, do their job right, and try to save me, try to get me somewhere in a timely fashion to take care of my health. I would rather die in my own bed, knowing that it's my choice, than to think I have this little bit of hope that somebody's going to do their job and get me somewhere, because it's just proof. If you live in Appalachia, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. Or they care about what they can bill. Because you know something? David and I are $110 over the limit to get any kind of aid. $110, even though together, combined, our insurances cost around $1,250 a month. But we make $110 over the limit for any aid. And because of the way that it's that's net, we can't take that out, even though it's goes to medical stuff. We you know that's his whole income. We can't take that out. But it's not money I can use to buy groceries, pay bills, do anything else with. That is insurance. And I looked at David several times and I said, it would pay you, it'd probably pay us a whole lot more if you would just take a sorry, stupid job doing nothing so that you could get on state Medicaid if you're going to start having a freaking gravel maker every year. If it's going to cost us $16,000 basically every year between ambulance rides and kidney stones, and then it's several $100s a month for insurance that doesn't pay diddly squat. What are we supposed to do? My neighbors have never worked a day in their life. They live a whole hell of a lot better than we do. Both of us working professionals until I was disabled, and he's still killing himself every day trying to make ends meet. And it took an ambulance an hour and 13 minutes to get 4 miles to my house. Have a problem with that. And when they got here, I was like, well, I guess it's a good thing nobody was giving birth or bleeding out or hemorrhaging. Of course, David's like, be nice. I'm not being nice to somebody that took an hour to drive 4 miles. I am not going to be nice to someone who turned an ambulance ride into the Special Olympics. It should take you about 7 minutes max capacity to get to my driveway. And then they didn't know how to pull in the gate. Now I can pull a 40-foot livestock rig and I could have got it through that gate, but they couldn't get the ambulance through the gate. I'm really irritable tonight. I'm not in a good mood. I'm really pissed off. And I hate this because I see people that have their nails done. They learn how to lie. They have their nails done. They wear designer clothes. They have their designer bags. They have their kids in daycare programs the state pays for. And they have Medicaid options. And they don't pay a thing. They don't think nothing about when they get sick or go to the doctor or have a hospital, and everything's paid for. And we just look so good, And here I am trying to make ends meet and pay for this super expensive 2 insurance policies that it takes to keep me alive. And my husband's paying for the only one that his job will allow them to have. It's the only insurance contract that he's allowed to have. It's the only one they offer. And it pays nothing. It's basically a discount program. It's not even insurance coverage. And I just want to look at the rich people at that factory and go, are you as sorry as I think you are? I really think y'all would surprise me at the level of sorry you actually are. So, do not know. I think he's going to end up at Crossville Medical Center. I have no idea. They didn't care to tell me anything. It took him an hour to get here. I didn't want to slow them down with a question. So, we'll see what this one costs. Oh, and by the way, the year after the 6,500 came out of the HRA, when we reported it, by the time that the state investigator had checked, it was like March the next year, they had already taken the $6,500 out of the HRA that year too. So we lost a total of $13,000 that nobody can find that was supposed to be in an account that was taken out of our income or David's income and placed in a savings account for him to put medical bills against. We never got to use it because somebody stole it. But nobody cares to find that. State investigator, oh, I'll never find your money. You'll never get it back. Perhaps I can find whoever took it. Oh, yeah, you can find a gazillionaire that's really going to hurt them. The world is a shady place. The world is a shady place. And right at this moment, send me a China spy balloon. I give not one fuck. Send me to China. I'll take care of everything. I'm that mad right now. Want to find Hunter Biden? Give me about 5 minutes. I'm a woman on a mission. Because the United States of America is taking away from their citizens and treating them like dog crap. And the ones that are honest enough to work and try to make something of themselves and try to do right, those are the ones that get the shaft. While the people with the fake nails and the fake eyelashes and the eyebrows and all the tackle on their face and the lip plumpers and they don't do anything. They have 17 children so that 17 men, and they can have 17 welfare accounts and they can get all this daggone money for free. But the people that work get treated like absolute dog shit. Dog shit. You know how to fix America? You stop giving to people that will not try to help themselves. And when you run across somebody that works 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and you run across somebody that had to retire because of a disability, but she went through 6 years of school to fight tooth and nail, then you say, hey, you know something? We see your effort. We want to help you survive. I don't ask for a lot. I just need to survive. I don't need a big pretty house. I don't need fancy cars. I don't need fancy clothes. I just need to survive. I don't need fake nails. I don't need fake Gucci bags. I don't need hair extensions so I can have my toddler pull them out in the middle of the supermarket so I can look like an idiot. Hello, women. But it sure would be nice to know that I'm not going to get the shaft every time I have a medical emergency. There's got to be some legal recourse to this. There absolutely has to be. Because there is no way, and I did nuclear med transcription for a long time, and regular transcription as well at hospital. There is no way that one CT, the other year when he had that kidney stone, one CT, one bag of fluid, they put a pressure bag on, and then one dose of Toradol was over $13,000 just to find me that. The doctor saw him once and the nurse came in the room twice. Now, if we'd walked and we had no insurance, we probably could have got out of there with a $1,200 bill. But because we have insurance and we're in that median income where we can't get any aid, we don't qualify for any help, so we're stuck paying the entire bill, they stick us with the entire bill because they know we got those people for life. We can milk them until we get every penny. But people that have the money can just pay a spin down and say, well, what do you take today? And just throw the money away. And then the people below us get it paid for by the state. So we're the ones that they milk like a nanny goat. And I'm tired of my teats being squeezed. I'm getting a little over it. So, to the next bill collector that calls me, you better be ready to learn some words. I am not going to be polite. I've had $13,000 stolen from my HRA account in 2 years. I have been billed probably 4 times what the actual bill for a kidney stone should have been. And now we've got another one on the way. Am I supposed to leave my husband? He sat here for 4 hours trying to pass a kidney stone, turning slate gray and green. And I finally said, you can't do this. It's stuck. You're going to have to go. They're going to have to force it, or they're going to have to bust it. And he's like, we can't afford it. Can't afford for you to die on the living room floor either. Don't have many options, do we? But it's important to know that Hunter Biden can do crack on video and talk to his prostitutes and take them across international lines. He never gets in trouble. Never. I want to identify as Hunter Biden. That's it. I now identify as Hunter Biden. So I should get away with everything. That's it. If anyone can identify as anything and nobody can say that that's not what you are, that gender and identity is just a thought, and whatever you desire to be, I'm freaking Hunter Biden right now. I'm fixing to get away with everything. Bill me who? What? No. Bill the big guy. He gets the 10%. Let him pay for it. Me? No. All my money goes to Russian horse. Sorry. No, I ain't paying that bill. I ain't paying that bill. No. When I need money, I blow paint through a straw, because straws are the only things I learned how to use, because obviously that's how I sniff up my Coke. So that's my one skill. So you can't ask me to do anything else, because I'm a privileged son of a president who has an IQ of about 43. But I'm a privileged person. So I'm going to identify as Hunter Biden. And I dare anybody to knock on my door. I dare anybody to come after me. I dare anybody to bill me for anything. And you know something? Next time I make an art project, I better, by God, get $250,000 for it. Even though I have absolutely no merit in the art world. Isn't it nice how our world works? Or maybe better yet, I should just identify as Joe Biden and play stupid and play potato and chief and just start flying across the world with pockets full of money and just say, here, I'm going to give this to you, and you rinse, repeat, and send it back, and then I'll pay some bills. Rinse, repeat, and send it back, and I'll pay some bills. The good people of America are too busy trying to make ends meet, pay their bills, not die at the hands of their stupid government, not die at the hands of the retarded EPA, not die at the hands of lazy Pete Buttigieg, Mr. Bike Riding Butthole Extraordinaire. We get no breaks. But by God, everybody in Ukraine, we can send them billions and billions and billions of dollars. President Hoodie, boy, I bet you he's got a whole selection of hoodies. I have one. Must be nice. And we sit here, and all we do is hear about people that are oppressed. Oh, I'm oppressed. They have nails out to here, and they've got fake hair, and they've got fake eyelashes, and they've got on fake Gucci or real Gucci. I don't know. I can't tell the difference. And they got on 6-inch heels. But they're oppressed. They're oppressed. And we're too stupid to stand up and say, no, the fuck you ain't. You got your head stuck so far up your butt, you can't see the real world. You're not oppressed. You're indignant. That's what's wrong with you. Nobody will tell these people these things. So the decent people in America shut their mouth and suffer, get put in holes they can't pay themselves, can't pay their way out, they lose their homes, they lose everything. Other people live good because they lie to the government. The government doesn't even care to lie. Did you know that me and David got audited like 5 years ago before? And this was when I was not working. This is the first year I was not, the second year I was not working. The first year I had nothing to report. We had one W-2 to report to the IRS, and they wasted, by God, they wasted their money to audit a family that had one W-2. How retarded is that? Let me say that again. It's a bad word. How retarded is that? Let's bring back the word. That was retarded. It took an ambulance an hour and 13 minutes to drive 4 miles. We have no hospital. But I'm going to pay $800 to $1,000 for an ambulance I had to wait for an hour and 13 minutes. Because they offer a service that's so necessary. If I had a mule, I could have made better time. If my legs could work, I could have driven him myself, but my legs are not working right. I'm getting a little irritated with the way this country's going. I'm getting a little irritated with the bills I'm getting. I'm getting a little irritated watching pieces of trash take over our nation and turn it into a free-for-all so that they can wear their little Nikes and their little Adidas and their little Jordans and their little tracksuits. They can wear their fake nails and they can wear all their fake hair and they can go get all their plastic surgery because they don't report anything to the government. Nothing. They get away with everything. And us honest people get treated like this. And what's even more sad is the people that we admire, the people that we look up to, are upset because they have the ability to have multiple houses bought while they don't even know it. Sitting there mad. I can understand why you're mad. It'd make me mad too, but can I identify with you? No, I can't. I'm trying, but I can't. Because if I made enough money to have 4 houses bought out from under my nose, I'd have known where every penny of my money was. So even the people that we admire that have made it out of the doldrums of our little, hollers and hills, they become so detached so easily. Their problems surpass us so quickly. It's like they forget where they come from. But we're supposed to take up arms and go after people like little headhunters and act like idiots on the internet. And when I say, hey, hold up, why are you doing this when this person has enough money to take care of himself? Well, you're such a hateful, horrible person. No, I'm not. I'm a realistic person. Do you have a retainer for a lawyer? Do you have $600 to $1,000 every time you go into court? No? Well, then you need to probably shut your mouth and not interject yourself into that. It's the people who have the money that create the problems that the little people get sucked into, and then nobody has money. Nobody has money. So all these insurance companies, they find all these loopholes and clauses, and it looks good on paper, but there's always a loophole so that you end up having to pay. Or there's always a way that we can steal that nobody can really tell we stole, but even if they know we stole, they're just going to fine us, but it's okay because we got $13,000 and they might smack us for $1,500. But we won't ever have to give it back to you. It's okay. You're just a little peon. We don't care about you. I want to change all that. I want to change all that. I want to show the truth about what's going on in this nation. I want to show that fatherless homes, the welfare programs making people not want to get married, breed like cockroaches, have 17 baby daddies, and get all their free things so that they can walk around wearing $2,500 worth of fake everything and clothes. That's not the American dream. The American dream is to buy your land, owe nothing to anyone, and make your life. It is not to suck your government dry or to become so dependent on your government that you can't break suction off the government tit. But that's really hard to do when the government knows where to hit you. Because they know if you fall in that little middle bracket where you're above the poverty line, even if by $111, they got you. Because you can get no aid, you can get no relief, you can get no help. So they got you. That's why the middle class is disappearing. That's why the middle class is disappearing. Because they're holding our asses to the fire. But they're not holding anyone else's. The people that will vote for them readily, well, they fund everything they do. That's why they have $75 manicures and $200 Nikes on. And that's why I have a pair of $3 thrift store shoes on my feet right now. And the people that have money, they can go, oh, well, I know the bill was $53,000, but if I can pay today, how much can you cut me off? And they'll have it. But if you say, I will dedicate every month to make this payment, can you give me a better price? No, if you can't make a lump sum payment today, you'll have to pay the full amount. Bleed me dry. I'm a turnip. I don't know what you think you're going to get. That is what is wrong with America. That's the middle class is being sucked dry. They're being taken advantage of. They're being eradicated. And you're only allowed to be stinking rich so you can get away with everything, or so poor that you rely on the government so they know that they can make you vote for whoever they want them to, want you to vote for. Because the people in the middle that just want to be left alone and lead their lives and earn their own thing and just buy a little piece of land and just be left the hell alone. I want a field, I want a nanny goat, I want a cow, and I want a garden, and I want to be left the hell alone. We're dangerous. We're dangerous because we will not overextend ourselves, and we will not allow people to come in and make promises to us that we know they can't keep. We have a brain. We're dangerous. And that is why I'm sitting here knowing that I'm going to have to pay for God knows how long another mother hospital bill for a bag of fluid, probably another Toradol shot, a pressure bag to pop that sucker right out of his ureter so it goes into his bladder. It'll probably take him about 45 minutes, and I'll get a call that says, oh, can you come pick him up? No, not till daylight. You fucker, I can't see to drive. I am so mad. Like, oh, whoever. Y'all wonder why I supervise murders. This is the side of me that supervises murders. Would you cross me right now? No, you would not. So I'm waiting. It'll take him about an hour to get there. It'll probably take him about 45 minutes to unlodge whatever is lodged in his ureter because he has one that's smaller than the other one. Though they wouldn't fix that back when we had good insurance because it wasn't a real problem. So, y'all, here's what I have to tell you. Buy some chickens, get you a nanny goat or a milk goat or a milk cow. Learn how to buy heirloom plants and seeds that Monsanto hasn't touched. Give up on anybody in the government giving a shit about you, because even Jim Jordan, as nice as a man I think he is, takes money from the other side. You can trust no one. The only person you can trust is the person whose ass you wipe. And I'm just being completely honest. Because I live 4 miles from town, 3.5 from the ambulance building in town where they're all stored. And it took them an hour and 13 minutes. And my husband's blood pressure was doing this. And I said, he's going to stroke out if you don't hurry. I called 3 times. So, something, when I get the bill, I'm going to call and say, okay, well, how much do we cut off for the hour and 13 minutes I had to fucking wait? Because you're supposed to respond in an emergency response scenario. And I don't think an hour and 13 minutes to cover 4 miles. I could have made better time on Marysboro going to pay my freaking taxes in Jerusalem. Stupid. 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 They wonder why America's falling apart. Because you're beating your middle class up, because you don't want us here, because we cause you problems, because we have a brain, because we won't follow you willingly, and we can't fund you with everything we have, so we're useless to you. So I'm just kind of over it. Whoever bills me from this hospital, they better. I'm gonna treat it like a garage. And I'm gonna start calling all these other hospitals and saying, what do you charge for this? 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 And I'm gonna get averages of what the charges are. And if somebody's trying to stick it to me, I'm gonna say, well, listen, this hospital can do this for this amount. This hospital can do this for this amount. I don't know why I'm being punished because I live in Appalachia and I only have 2 options, and I only had one on this night because a state highway was closed because of windstorms, trees down, and power lines down. I'm fixed to be somebody's worst nightmare. It took an hour and 13 minutes for an ambulance to come less than 4 miles. And I know that that ambulance trip is going to cost me $800 to $1,000 because with my pelvis and legs, I could not drive him. And I can't see good at night anyway because my eyes are affected by this stupid disorder too. So I had to rely on an ambulance. Everybody else is out of pocket. That's going to be $800 to $1,000 right there. But it took them an hour and 13 minutes. And the ambulance building, the ambulance bay is less than 4 miles away. It's about 3.5 miles away. And so the last time he had a kidney stone, they charged well over $13,000, and still after insurance paid, stuck us with $6,500 for one Toradol shot. Toradol didn't even help. A bag of fluid, a pressure bag, and 1 CT. The pressure bag popped the sucker on down to the bladder, and he did okay. So I'm thinking that's probably because he has one ureter that's very, very small, and every once in a while they get stuck. We had been doing much better. He hadn't had one almost 7 years until the one last year or the year before. Now we've had 2 in 2 years. So I'm sure he's going to get there. They're going to put a IV in him. They're going to put fluids, pressure bag, and probably give him a little bit of medicine and pop that puppy right on out, and he'll be ready to come home. And it's going to cost me another $6,000 to $7,000 after insurance pays. But how can you justify that for those few things? How can you justify that price for those few things? Like, I've talked to nurses and they're like, there's no way. There's no way. They just knew that you were in that median income where you could get no aid, you could get no help, you could get no savings program or discounts, and so they stuck it all to you. And that's how hospitals make their money. The people that are in the middle class that can't get any help, you pay all the bill, while the rich people get huge discounts, and the poor people the state pays for, or they write it off. So whoever is going to call and ask for me to pay money every month is going to call me Miss Queen Elizabeth. May I please have your payment this month? You sound like you look amazing today. They better be very nice to me, because I'm about over this crap. But I think I may once I get this bill from this hospital, if it shows any discrepancy in the bill from the other one, if this hospital is much cheaper than the other one and there's a huge discrepancy, I'm going to an attorney. And I'm going to be like, make this make sense. And if I can sue somebody, sue them. Because we pay over $1,200 a month for all of our insurances because I have two, and then David has his one through his work. I have two separate that I pay for on my own that I had to get on my own because his at work was trash. So I have two that I have to pay for. That costs me a lot of money every month, and then his on top of that, we end up paying about $1,250 a month in insurance. And he gets stuck with 50% of a bill. I should have went to the Marines. It's just sometimes you just want to punch somebody. I'm home alone tonight. Anybody wants to come home and intrude in my home, I play. Bring it. I'm in a real good mood. We'll have fun. I'm really irritated. Really irritated. Do you bet your sweet baby I'm going to make them take off and something for every minute it took them beyond the average time. Like I can see 20 minutes because they have to load up and get here. I can see 20 minutes even though I'm less than 4 miles away. An hour and 13 minutes? No. Oh yeah, and you want to know what I was, Crossroads? It was because somebody had stolen $6,500 in 1 year from the HRA account, and by the time we found out that they had stolen it, because we thought they couldn't be accessed because we never opened it, that the money was just there, staying there, and being put there every month, and until we activated it, it couldn't be used. But there was a clause, there was a loophole. But still, they weren't supposed to actively bill it. They could activate it, but they could not actively bill it, but they did. So they took the whole $6,500 and left us with diddly, or that whole first kidney stone would have been paid for. Well, then by the time the state investigator found out what had gone on, by March the next year, they had already cleaned out the $6,500 in the HRA already again. And the state investigator was like, I'll never get your money back. I might be able to find out who did it and find them, but they're going to be a gazillionaire, medical insurance company, and it's not going to hurt them at all. And they're going to continue doing this. And then I started investigating and found out that and it was called Garner or something like that. And Blue Cross Blue Shield worked in tandem, and they only give this specific insurance discount program linked with that HRA account in rural areas. They offer no other programs, and there are lots of people having their HRA accounts just blip. Once again, we take advantage of the poor people that can't afford a retainer on a lawyer because the lawyer won't take a pro bono case because they're stuck up too. Had a rough night. Yeah, it's fucked up. Like I said, there is no unfuck it bucket for me tonight. I am so pissed. Y'all are seeing a whole different side to me, I know, but I am so pissed. Everybody thinks, oh, you're so sweet, you're so nice. No, I supervise murders. I'm a giant asshole and I need to be. And I'm very upset right now, and I am very cantankerous, and I am very aware at how our civil issues, our community issues, and our emergency responders are not working correctly. And I'm also very, very hyper aware of how the medical field is demeaning and depleting the middle class. It's not just the government doing it, it's everything. If you are poor enough to get aid, then they know they've got your vote. If you're rich enough, they know that you funnel cash to them. But if you're that middle class that is a free thinker, then they nail you for every goddamn penny they can because they don't want you around because you're a free thinker and all you want is to be left alone and to do your own thing. You're a dangerous person. But Hunter Biden's not a dangerous person. He just does cocaine, hangs out with Russian whores, and packs illegal weapons. But he's not dangerous. Shh. He's not dangerous. I'm sure YouTube will love me for this, but I have said nothing that's not the truth. I just don't really care. I don't really care anymore. I don't really care about social media platforms. I do not give a rat's ass. I don't care. Change in the world is going to happen when communities unite and we come together and we say, hey, you know something? We're a conglomerate of people and we're pissed off. And you people in Washington, somebody needs to bend over and kiss my ass because I feel like I've been stuck in yours for 5 years. This is not the way America's supposed to be run. It needs to change. Stop funneling people into our country, but protecting other people's borders. Stop creating a whole subsect of the population that is going to be a generational funnel, a generational siphon on our nation. While we can't even get half of our children to go to college, we can't even get half of our children to go to trade school because it's so expensive. But you're going to lure these people in and give them all sorts of aid and give them housing and give them phones and cards with money and places to stay. But you won't even help your own citizens learn a trade, send their kids to trade school, get a skill, own a small piece of land. That's horrible. No, you're an American citizen. You should be able to do all that on your own. But we can't if all our American money is tied up in immigration that doesn't do anything to help the American people. The immigration is helping the politicians by generating a political voting group that can be bought. That's where the money is going. People can be purchased. They like people that can be purchased. What's your price tag? My price tag can't be found because I don't have one. I'm a belligerent old hussy. Put me in the ground before you think you're going to buy me. But you think these people coming across this border, you think they're going to do something great for this land? They've put them in hotel rooms. They've destroyed them. They've given them food. They've thrown it out and said it wasn't good enough. They've demanded better. They do not care about making this a better country. They only care about what they can milk from this government so that they can cast a vote in favor of whoever brought them here and is giving them a free ride. But American citizens, no, all you're getting is the shaft. All you're getting is the shaft. Y'all are getting treated like hunters Russian horse. I mean, well, probably a little bit worse, to be quite honest. At least they do get paid eventually. But yeah, this is why our nation is falling apart. This is why, a man that looks into a girl's dressing room is a peeping Tom and gets sexual assault charges. But if he says, I think I'm a woman, he can just walk naked through the girl's dressing room and subject little girls to him, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry. It seems like the same scenario happened, and it's just as bad. Excuse me, I'm confused. They want to confuse us. They want us at wit's end because if we're fighting amongst ourselves, we won't focus on the stupid people that are up there in Congress. And I'm sorry, but 400 people ought not run over this nation the way it's being run over. How many of us, there are 350 million and 400 people are treating us like crap and making our lives hell? That is like a Charolais bull running from a gnat. Why are we running from a gnat? And our potato in chief, who is not competent. And yes, I know the man said, I see no cognitive decline, but if there is no cognition, there cannot be a cognitive decline. Wordplay. It's all wordplay. Listen to it. It's all wordplay. Oh, there's no cognitive decline. Well, no, because if there is no cognition, there can be no cognitive decline, you dumb butt. I mean, it's all wordplay. It's all wordplay. It's all wordplay. Well, you know something? If the American people would band together and realize that they are a giant bull and that the politicians are just a little flurry of gnats. You know when you get when you get out in the woods in the summertime and you get in that little flurry of what we call them dog pecker gnats, and then you have to move away and get out or turn on your thermocell so they go away. That's Congress. Congress is nothing. Congress is just a swarm of dog pecker gnats. They do nothing for us. They just distract us, aggravate us. And while they've got us distracted and aggravated, they take what they can get. They give themselves raises, but they really do nothing for us. I would like to think that some of them are trying to do stuff for us, but I think most of them are just glory seekers more than they are actually thinking about their constituents and what we need. I mean, that's just what I think. I'm sorry, but if you are in Congress and you take time every day to go get Botox because you are so concerned about the way you look rather than the job you're doing, I have no respect for you. None whatsoever. Because Botox is not going to help you do your job better. Botox is not going to help you get voted back in. It should be what you're capable of doing for your constituents, not what you look like, how young you look, or how many people that want to get in your britches. It should be what you're capable of doing for your constituents and making this nation a stronger nation. Yeah, they said he had a lesion that had to be removed. Probably his brain. That was mean, but it's probably true. It could have been Hunter stuck to his butt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just over. I'm really over all of this. I'm really over all this. I'm really over the middle class getting beat up. I'm really over the internet glossing over life and not being truthful. And if you are honest, they erase it. I am so tired of them trying to project a portrayal of America that is false. I am so tired of them not allowing us to state how unhappy we are with the current administration. And this is not the free America. I'm supposed to be a sovereign citizen of a free nation with a constitutional protection and a Bill of Rights. But my president signed a contract with the Universal World Health Organization that now can oversee and control my doctor's ability to treat me. Say, huh? I'm supposed to be a free and sovereign citizen that is protected under my Constitution and my Bill of Rights. And nowhere in that Bill of Rights does it say that you can make a decision that I didn't vote for. Stop making the loopholes. Stop screwing the pooch. I will not answer to the WHO. I don't recognize them. That man's wanted in Ethiopia for genocide. No. No. I ain't going to give him diddly squat attention. Ever will you call me later? Well, I'm fixing to lay down and try to get a nap because probably around daylight I'll have to go get David. If my pelvis is feeling better, I need to lay down and let it rest for a little while. Probably around daylight, I'll have to go get David, unless they're going to have to go in and take that out. I won't know. If they have to take it out and I have to go over there and sit while he's in surgery, I'm going to, can I have a cup of coffee? Oh, is this $18? Oh, just get me another one. I'm going to rake up all the bill I can while I'm here. I'm going to be such a turd. I'm going to be such a turd. Such a turd. If I see somebody come in with the 4-inch nails and a fake Gucci bag, talking about their kids got an itch on their arm and they didn't have enough common sense to put chamomile lotion, I'm going to be like, oh, well, they'll get everything paid for. They'll get everything paid for. Stupidity pays. Stupidity pays these days. Stupidity pays. Because if your government thinks you're stupid, then they can talk you into being marginalized and oppressed. And then you can run the streets and create all this havoc and start all this crap. And then they can act like, oh, the mob, and we've got to fix this. And, and it's just all a game. It's all a game. It's all a game. Turn off the Fortnite servers for about a week if you want to see a riot. Because all them people that don't work and sit home and play goddamn Fortnite, they'll riot. Do an EMP that turns off all the gaming systems across the world. You want to know how many sorry pieces of trash there are in the world? Just EMP the game systems. And the people will come out of basements. And they might actually get a job. They might actually contribute to society. Might. I'm afraid he's going to have to end up having a stint too. Yeah, I mean, it's ungodly what they make you pay. They'll get it, honestly, and like I told the other place, I don't believe you build ethically, you will get it the slowest payment possible. What is the smallest amount you will accept? And I said, I will pay it the slowest way possible. And they're like, that's not very nice. And I said, neither is your billing practices. Don't expect me to care about you if you don't care about me. Hey, yeah, Johnny Gobble, that 10, 15 grand you got from Miss Patty, you don't pay for a kidney stone. He wouldn't work at a pie factory if you stuck his thumb in each pie for him. He wouldn't know what to do. That's a sack of sorry right there. That's a sack of sorry. I don't care what he thinks about me. I'm gonna come box me. You're gonna come box me. No, you dumbass. I ain't gonna come box you. What are we, toddlers in daycare? My God. The man's an idiot. The man's an idiot. That he has never had a real life problem. You want to know why? Because he's been the marginally oppressed that's got everything paid for his whole life. Oh, I hope he does his taxes, and I hope somebody tells on every penny that he got. Somebody call the IRS and tell him about him bragging on the internet about all that money he got. Make him have to pay for it. Somebody do it. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny? I can't stand him either. I can't stand him. I'm not in a good mood tonight, and I'm aggravated as heck, and I'm cantankerous as... Oof. But I'm upset that my husband sat here for over 4 hours battling a kidney stone because he didn't want to have to put us in debt for another medical bill. And I was tired of seeing his blood pressure spike so high that I was afraid he was going to stroke out. And so I said, would you just go to the hospital? I'll call the ambulance because I can't, my pelvis, my legs, I can't drive and I can barely see at night anyway. And plus all the windstorms and power lines, I don't know what roads are still blocked. So I thought this is best left to the EMS. We're one of the lucky ones that have electricity now. There's still over half of our county out. So we thought it was just best with everything that had gone through because they sent him home from work at like 4:30 because the factory had no power because of the windstorms. All the trees started going down. So he fought that for 4.5 hours, and I thought, it's just time. You're going to have to go. It's not going to pass on its own. We tried everything. It wasn't going to pass on its own. And so I called when he could not take it anymore, I called the ambulance. Because normally it's about 20 minutes because I live less than 4 miles from the ambulance place. An hour and 13 minutes later, they finally got here. And I called 3 times going, where the hell are you? Emergency first responder. Do you understand what those words mean? Do I need to break open a dictionary? So I'm not healthy myself right now, as you can tell from my the discoloration of my eyes and stuff. But I'm hoping that this is something that he can pass when he gets to the hospital. I'm hoping they don't have to do surgery or go in and net it or do the pulse thing, because God Almighty, we'll never get that paid for. And we don't like to have debt, so that it really irritates us to have debt, and it pisses me off. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm sick of living in this country. I'm sick of living in this country. I'm sick of being represented by Mr. fucking Potato Head. I'm sick of watching his son being just an illegal, criminal, negligent piece of shit. I'm sick of watching insurance companies take the middle class out for every penny. I'm sick of watching people wear $100 acrylic nails that they get done every 2 weeks, but they need food stamps to feed their children. I am sick of seeing the laziness in our nation. I am sick of seeing people that won't work. I'm sick of seeing people scared of going to college. I did college for 6 years. If I had not had this stupid disorder, I would still be working my butt off because I loved what I did. I loved what I did, and I loved providing for my family. My husband still works his butt off. I am so sick of watching the laziness epidemic creep into our America. And I'm so tired of people thinking that free is the best thing possible. When no, getting something free is not the best thing possible. Working so that you have something that no one can take from you, that's the best thing possible. But nobody understands that concept because we don't believe in anyone's right to have ownership over anything. We don't even have ownership over the freaking dictionary meaning of the word woman. How stupid we must look to the rest of the world. Because I'm sitting here and it took an ambulance an hour and 13 minutes to drive less than 4 miles. I feel like I'm living in like an episode of the Special Olympics. I mean, it's just that bad. It's that bad. I feel like everybody's just clapping because they're doing the best they can. Just when they really screw up, we'll take them out. Let them keep thinking they're great. And about 3/4 of our population are dumb enough to think that they're actually accomplishing something with their life because they're in debt or because they drive a nice car, they live in a nice house that's hawked to God knows who for how much, but they think they're living the American dream. But if they were to actually look at their assets, they wouldn't have 2 nickels to call up a squirrel. But they will look at someone like me and my husband who have everything paid for, and they'll go, oh, bless their heart, they're just so poor. But I'm not in hock. Except for the stupid medical bills, because medical bills are atrocious. A kidney stone after insurance, over $13,000 with insurance for 1 Toradol shot, 1 bag of fluid with a pressure bag, and 1 CT. Over $13,000, and they still stuck us with $6,500, and God knows what they're going to stick with us this time. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated, and I'm separated from my husband who is not doing well, and I'm pissed. And I dare say anybody that has to tangle with me for the next 48 hours is going to catch heck. Because I'm not in a good mood. I'm not in a negotiating mood. It's not going to be good. I would like to be treated with a little bit of dignity and respect. I would like for an agency that says it's an emergency first responder to get here in less than an hour. I would like for an insurance company to actually pay what they're supposed to pay. And I would like for all these stupid programs to understand that when someone is $111 over the poverty line for aid, but they have to pay $1,250 in medical bills, they might need a little bit of help. I mean, I know we use Common Core math, but are we that stupid? Oh no, his will not pay 80/20. They have and that's the thing. They have here and in every other rural area at factories like this, they use this little discount program, which is the only thing they offer and they offer it in combination with an HRA, but the HRA always disappears or gets billed fictitiously, and nobody ever is ever able to use their HRA. It just disappears. And I've got a state investigator looking in on it, but he's like, they offer it in these rural areas with these small counties where it's one factory, and they're lucky to have that insurance that is just basically a discount program, and the HRAs are all getting obliterated. And he's like, I don't know who took your money. It's been billed and it's been coded so many different ways. He's like, it'll take me years to figure it out. I might maybe someday, when I figure out who took it, be able to find them. But if they've taken in 2 years over $13,000 from us, and you've got to think there's 100 to 300 employees at every factory, and they're doing this in the rural areas all over this nation, how much money are they making? Illegally, criminally, but nobody wants to do anything about it because it's not a drug bust. It's not anything that's going to get front newspaper. It's just going to cause problems, and then we'll have to that you won't have any insurance. Well, if I didn't have any insurance and my husband had gone in for that other kidney stone, they said, oh, we'd have been around $1,200. Well, then don't bill my insurance and just let me pay you straight cash. Oh no, we can't do that. It's my insurance. Shouldn't I be able to tell you I don't want to bill it? Oh no, we can't do that. But if we'd had no insurance, we could literally have paid like $1,200 and walked away. But because we had insurance, they got to bill for over $13,000, and we got stuck for $6,500. Yeah. Yep. 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 And both my neighbors that have never worked a job in their life have way more free cash in their home every month than we ever thought about seeing, because they get their phones paid for, they get their food paid for, they get help with their electric, their churches help with any kind of transportation they need. Everybody's there to help them, but you're not in the bracket to receive any help. You're middle class, lower middle class, but middle class. You eked it out by $110, so you're lower middle class. So we can't help you, but we can help her because she's poor, even though when we pick her up, she has on $200 acrylic nails and like $200 tracksuits and $200 Jordans. But we can help her because she's super poor. Her son's been in jail for selling dope 7 times too, but she's super poor. I mean, it's just like, come on, people, catch up here. It's pathetic. We don't have any unions here. We have no unions, and we don't have anybody that would have the balls to stand up to a union. And I'm just going to call it out. We don't. When David's factory was sending people home for COVID, they didn't want to come back because they were making more on unemployment than they were. So my husband kept that factory open. He took a cut and pay to keep the doors open because they said if we shut these doors, we will never open them back up, and this factory will not be here to employ these families. So my husband said, I'll take a cut in wages to keep this factory running on a skeleton crew of like him and 2 other people. And then everybody else got to go home and make like $600 to $900 a week on unemployment. But my husband didn't. He got to make like $140 or $170 a week to keep the doors open at a cut rate. And they said, oh, well, when we get everybody back, we're going to reward you. So that went on for months. So when they got everything back and they got the doors open again, everybody to work, you know what they did? They gave him $1,000 bonus for several months of working at like a quarter of his income. They gave him $1,000. Oh wait. And hang on. Oh wait, let me and a bottle of whiskey at the Christmas party, because apparently you got to be liquored up to want to work there. This is what they gave their employees at the Christmas party. this should say something as to what kind of people they think they employ. This is pretty much decor in my home because we won't drink this shit. But this is what they think most of their employees want. They gave them nothing useful. They gave them a Bluetooth speaker and a bottle of Chattanooga whiskey. Because apparently they know you want to listen to your Southern rock and get blasted. And that's the kind of people they think that they work. When whatever this and that Bluetooth cost, whether it was $35, $40, I don't know. That would have been a much nicer dividend to put toward a grocery bill for my family than this stupid crap right here. It's retarded. It's retarded. This made me think, what kind of people do they think they have working for them? What kind of quality of people do they think we are? What could you not have given it? Yeah, a gift card. Giving us all $50 that we could use towards something that we actually want. This is the quality of people you think you have working? This, which I'm sure it satisfied a number of people because I see those people. But this is what we got for Christmas from his employer that he's worked for like 8 years? Please. Please. Tell me you're white trash and I think you're a piece of white trash without telling me you think I'm a piece of white trash. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate it. Came home with that and I was like, what? You gotta be liquored up to want to have to work there? They think this is what you do on the weekends? Seriously? I'm so sick. My health. By the time I was 21, I had 2 kids and a mortgage. I had no party time. But I mean, my husband does not drink. Every once in a while when his back hurts, he'll try to drink a beer and he has to gag himself through it because he hates beer. We're just not drinkers. Probably if he was a beer drinker, he probably wouldn't be having the kidney problems he's having. Maybe I should drive him to drinking. But, you know, I just thought that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes to say what kind of quality of person they think you are. I know. Now, if I was going to a family home where I knew that somebody liked a specific type of liquor, I would probably take that. But employees, you want to make your employees liquored up? I don't know. I've been very frustrated. Very frustrated. I've got lemonade vodka in the bottom of my fridge, but it was because vodka was empty. The regular vodka shelf was empty the last time I was there. But that is for my tinctures that I make out of goldenrod and stuff. That's the only time, and then I strain them out. And by the time that it sits and it burns off, it's not got a whole lot of alcohol in it, but they're just for my tinctures. So the only time I buy anything is for tinctures. And if you can use moonshine, moonshine's better, but you can't always get your hands on it. So, you know, you can use vodka. But that's the only time I ever buy alcohol is for my tinctures. I know David's like, he just can't. He can't stomach beer. He just can't. He's not a drinker. He doesn't like the thoughts of drinking. He doesn't like the behaviors of people that he sees drinking, and he does not want to be affiliated with those type of people. And not to say that people can't drink and control themselves and be appropriate, but we just don't see it a lot around here, so we choose to not go down that road. So it's just like, you know, it's like, this will never be opened. It is a pretty bottle, but that's about all it's going for. I mean, I'm sure you could probably clean some paint off of some stuff if I had a craft mishap. But, you know, it'd be better in turpentine probably. But I don't know. I'm just irritated. I'm just irritated. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had 3 weeks basically dealing with a massive health issue, watching Putin. I'm gonna push the red button. I'm not gonna push the red button. I'm gonna push the red button. I'm not gonna push the red button. I'm gonna stack up, do it or don't. Because the rest of us, we know we're screwed. We know we're screwed. There's not an honest politician left on the face of this earth. We know the fight we're up against. You want to push that button? Just make sure you push it, and make sure it's a big enough kaboom that by the time we all see the haze, we're going like that. That's all I ask. Just make it a quick one. You know, don't play like that. Don't play like that, because by God, I can push the button for you. Now I can't stand these politicians. I'm gonna push the button. I'm not gonna push the button. I'm not gonna push the button. Do not play with me. Push it or don't. Make your mind up. I mean, I just think that's stupid. And it's like they're in the back seat, Ukraine and Russia. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And somebody said, well, why is Biden in Ukraine on President's Day? Well, because, and not in Ohio. Well, because the Ukraine launders his money and Ohio doesn't. Y'all know tomorrow when my YouTube channel is gone exactly why. You'll be able to find me over on Trapper Dave Waters or on Hillbilly Furs on Facebook. But I'm really exhausted with this over-sympathetic view I'm supposed to have of everybody, while everybody in return is allowed to hate me. And if I had 5 minutes alone with that Dylan Mulvaney, I'd find a spot to put a tampon. Don't even get me started on him. The ruination of our entire citizen base. And we're just letting it happen. We're just letting it happen. We're just letting it happen. It's just easy. Just let it. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Be nice. Pray for them. Love them. Well, you know, God sent down the fire. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody wanting to say God's a loving God and a peaceful God. Well, he is also a God that will take vengeance upon those that do not obey him. So I'm sorry if you skip parts of the Bible that you shouldn't have. But I'm here to tell you, he will put your butt in alignment when it's time it needs to get put in alignment. And so you people always trying to preach, do the right, nice thing. He's not only a God of love, he is a God of righteous vengeance, and he will do unto those what they deserve. Sodom and Gomorrah got it. What do you think America is right now? I'm waiting for the brimstone to start falling any minute. I'll probably go out and dance in it. Be like, y'all suckers are getting what you deserve. I'm going home. Please, Lord, hit me straight in the head and take me right now. You know, and it's frustrating. And they got 40-something thousand hours of January 6th videos, but they won't give it to the public. Well, of course not. Of course not. Well, then we'll know what happened. And they have to keep us stupid. They have to keep us guessing. They have to keep us inner fighting. Because if we know what happened and we can make a straight decision, we could fix the world. It would be easier than ironing a straight bed sheet. We just don't have enough people that care. We don't have enough people that care. So I just hit a wall tonight. I just hit a wall, and I think most of America needs to hit a wall. I hit a wall. And I'm worried about my husband. I'm worried about how I'm going to pay these bills. I'm worried about what they're going to try to scare, antagonize me with. or say they're going to take away because I'm going to now owe another medical bill. I'm worried because I think next winter you better be having a garden, have your vegetables canned. Because let me tell you what, there ain't gonna be no stores, and there ain't gonna be no beef. You better buy you some animals that you can slaughter. You better stock up in ammunition and learn how to make your own bows and archery. You had better become well equipped to live off the land, because next year, if they do not get us all in the alignment that they want us in, it will become a starve you out scenario. You think Ukraine is a piece of shit right now? Just wait till you see America next year, when Biden knows he's almost done with his reign of terror. Just wait. He ain't done. Well, whoever's pulling the strings ain't done. He's done, but whoever's pulling the strings ain't done. They're going to try to starve us out, treat us like a third world country. They're going to make us think that Ukraine is, by God, the best place on the face of the earth. Because why? Because they know that we still have people that are just belligerent enough to stand up against people. So they're going to have to starve us out, and they're going to have to break us down. And the breaking down will be no food sources. They've already polluted our water. They've already spread it through the wind and rain. If you look at all the train derailments, and then you look at the major waterways, and then how the waterways cross with an X, they have polluted most of, from the southwest all the way to the eastward, all the water, the major waterways that we get our water from. There's no way you can get a lot of those chemicals out of the water. Everything that's been rained on is polluted. The groundwater is going to be polluted. Anything that grows on it is going to be polluted. Anything that grazes on that stuff that grows on it is going to be polluted. We are foobarred. And why are they not worried about California and the Southwest? Because they've been foobarred for a long time. That place don't know its ass from hole in the ground. Sorry, I know I'm being rude tonight, but I'm just being ply blank honest. Those people crap in the streets and have poop patrol. They're done. You don't have to worry about taking California off the map. It cannot function. So that's why they're worried about the breadbasket to the east. So be aware that no matter where you are, look at all the wrecks they've had between Nebraska, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and then Arizona. Overlay the major waterways and the tributaries that funnel them all together to create the waterways that get water to everybody. It overlaps perfectly. Everything is going to be polluted. All the groundwater is going to be polluted. They're even testing as far south as I am to our artesian wells and our well waters and our caves. They know how bad this is. That's why they waited so long to allow it to leach for so long. Do you know how long and how much that could travel in groundwater for 3 weeks, almost 4? Holy crap. Do you know how far it can go up and then land somewhere else and rain? Have you seen how odd the weather patterns shifted? Like, instead of traveling normally northeast, it was going east or southeast. Not normal. It went every direction. Not normal. But, oh, well, you're crazy if you say these things. Well, yeah, I know the way the weather goes. About once a year, there's a storm comes out of the east. About twice a year, you can see one of those northerly flows take a southern twist. But isn't it convenient that it took 2 after that derailment repeatedly? There's just too much going on. It's just, coincidence is just not a word I'm comfortable with anymore. It's not a coincidence. Yeah, they've screwed us up, and they screwed us over in lots of ways. And you better know the land you're planting on, and you better have it tested. You better be calling your local soil district. You better be having a lot of testing done when you put your gardens out next year, and you better be testing the rainwater. You better be finding ways to test for these chemicals. And I'm not talking about bacteria. No, screw that. I'm talking about these chemicals. test for these chemicals. But you better learn how to live on very little, and you better learn how to make a salad out of your backyard. You better learn how to butcher an animal. You better learn how to make some arrows and a bow from a sapling tree, because ammunition ain't gonna last very long. And you better know how to flint knap to make you some arrowheads, and you better know how to do some old timey stuff, because we're fixing to go back to it. Fixing to go back to it. And the people that will salvage this nation will probably be the ones that disappear into the woods and last long enough to start over. Will it be me? No, my health will not allow me to do that. But I'll create hell as long as I keep going, because that's who I am. But it's going to be the people that can disappear into the woods and start over. And that's just all there is to it. So I'm just really upset at the way our nation is going. I'm really upset at the way the middle class is being eradicated, the middle class is being milked. I'm upset at the way these things that our taxes pay for don't function appropriately, and unless you're either very rich or very poor. But if you're in the middle, on you, and I'm uncomfortable with that differentiation between the classes, because something, we're all supposed to be Americans. So I'm uncomfortable, and I'm saying I'm uncomfortable. And I think we all need to start saying we're uncomfortable. And I don't think it matters one iota what race you are, what color you are, what origin you are. I don't care. I am Cherokee and Scots Irish, but I'm American first. And I don't care what creed, color, make, or model you are. You better learn to take care of yourself. Because this world is headed straight on like a Peterbilt hitting a cliff. It's fixing to stop. And it's gonna be a mockery from the rich elite. It's gonna be like the freaking Hunger Games. They're gonna just love to see how long we can make it on how little. And it's just gonna be sad. You can just tell it's coming. You can just tell it's coming. Look at Europe. Look what's going on in Europe. Look at the mess they're in. They can't keep anybody happy. I mean, it's like they're happy one day, fix to go to war the next day, and then they're upset with somebody else the next day, and then I'm going to push the button. And it's just like, this is what full-grown men in power do. Boggles my mind. Yeah, have you belly dress on her? Well, I mean, there's ways to make medication and stuff, but if you they've got about 40% of the population now that's allergic to most antibiotics. I'm part of them. They've manipulated us for a while where we're not able to benefit from a lot of our own things that we can create in our own ways. So medicines are going to be a big thing. You're going to have to go back to plant-based. You're not going to be able to go back to any fungus or mold-based growth. You're going to have to go back to purely plant-based. And it's going to have to be a complete herbal concoction again, because they've made a lot of us allergic to most of the antibiotics these days from overuse, misuse, or just plumb desire to want to. So, I think we're headed back to a very old time, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. Yeah, a lot of stuff is resistant to the antibiotics because of overuse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be a mess. Well, I just heard my phone beep, so I'm going to check and make sure my husband's still kicking. They should have gotten him there by now and got him checked out. And I'm here to tell y'all, when you got something to get mad about it. I'm all about compassion and empathy, and I'm the kindest, sweetest person, and I will help you in any way I can. But when you bend over and kick me square in the hunt in, expect it back. And I think America needs to kind of follow that philosophy. I'm getting tired of getting my ass kicked, and wondering who in the hell did it and why I didn't get to kick somebody back. I think it's time I should be able to kick somebody back. So it's just like, stand up for yourself. Start talking to the people in your county level. Start talking to people that are in your capitals in your states. Start making friends. And I guarantee you, listen, those politicians don't get a lot of phone calls. Start ringing their phone off their hook. Start sending them emails. Start being persuasive. Start making a ruckus. Do you know how the left has created such a foothold in this nation? By being whiny little pieces of crap. Do you know how the right can take over again? By being whinier pieces of crap. Make some noise and let people know how upset you are. Don't be violent, but be verbally aggressive to let them know you are about at wit's end. And that is a kindness, if you ask me, to let people know I'm as close to snapping, and I'm telling you this out of the kindness of my heart. But this nation has got to change. We have got to get people back on the right track. We've got to stop catering to people that don't want to work, don't want to try. We've got to stop punishing the people that want to work and want to make a good living and own just a little tiny piece of land and be left alone. And we've got to stop letting the rich people run over us and tell us about their poor, pitiful problems when we don't have 2 nickels to call up a squirrel. No, I'm not worried about your 4 houses that got bought when you were not looking. I'm worried that I can't pay a freaking medical bill and they're going to take me for all I have, which is just a house and 4 acres. So excuse me for not getting on your Instagram and crying over your problem. And excuse me for not caring that you thought I was just too open and honest. I'm really getting tired. I'm really getting tired of the classism in this nation. It's just getting a little up my craw. I'm just about over it. But you know something? The good people barely make any money, but we make this world go round, and we love each other. And those are the 3 things that's going to get us through this. It ain't going to be the rich people that don't have any attachments to anything but their money. And it ain't going to be the people that can be bought. It's going to be those 3 people I just said. And if you're in that, then you're lucky. Start finding your tribe and start educating yourself on the old ways. You're going to need it. And if you work for a place that buys you liquor for holidays, get you a new daggum job. I'm checking on my husband. Rant over. I'm off the soapbox. I must be feeling better because I'm pissed off. But life would be so much better if people did what they said, told you what they were going to do, followed through, and just were honest. It's frustrating to me. She's still over 50K. Guess what? You already know nothing happened. Oh my gosh. If I ever get a good job, we'll all go on a tropical vacation. All right, Priscilla, let me check on David, and then I'll try to call, but I'm going to have to try to get some rest too. All right, I'll talk to you later. Night, guys.